Hi, Stampers. Welcome to today's Thursday Live. We are once again playing with the Fluffiest Friends bundle. This was by your request. I asked on my page what you wanted to see me play with, and that was one of the things that came up. We're going to be making a side tiered panel card today. I've done this once before where it came in from both sides. And I was flipping through Pinterest and I saw somebody had done it from one side and then I couldn't find it again. So I decided to take the pattern I had for the double-sided and just make it a single-sided. And I'm going to show you guys how I did it. So, oh, yep, I have that. Sophie was just requiring attention. Say hi, Sophie. Hi, Sophie. Say hi. Can you say hi? No? Okay. So let's go down to my desk. Okay, so like I said, this is the card I'm doing, and I knew I wanted it to only come in from one side instead of two. And so I kind of looked at the mechanisms over here, and on my other card, it was 1 inch. I thought that looked a little wide. And then I don't know, these looked a little inconsistent to me. So what I decided to do is I took out my handy dandy chart that I show you guys where you can look at the layers and how things go down. And like we start out with the card base that is the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then we come down 1/4 inch both directions. Only this time I came down, I guess it's 1/2 inch, because the first one was 5 1/2, and then 5, and then 4 1/2. So I came down by 1/2 inches for every layer. Now I knew that's what I wanted these 3 layers to be, was that 1/2 inch smaller, right? So the back one has the side pieces and the middle one has the side pieces. And I decided I wanted the smaller 3/4 inch side piece. So when I went and cut my pieces, that's what I had in mind. I knew that I wanted the standard card base to be 4 1/4. Okay, by 5 1/2. Okay, only I'm not going to cut there. I'm going to score this. And then I'm going to move over 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to score again. And then move over 3/4 of an inch. And this time I'm going to cut. Okay, so that gave me those 2 score lines that give me this. Okay, now I'm going to do kind of the same thing with the other one. Remember, this needed to be 1/2 inch smaller. So instead of 4 1/4, I'm going to go 3 3/4 by 5. And remember, the first one's going to be a score. Then I'm moving over 3/4 of an inch. So I'm lining that up, my score line up with that. Another score over 3/4 of an inch. And then cut. So this is my second one. Now the front one doesn't have to have these. I just need my front piece. So I can take this leftover one. And this was 3 3/4. So I'm going to come down 1/2 inch and make this 3 1/2. Right? 3 1/4. 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. So that will be my front piece, right? Yeah. Okay, so I have those pieces all cut out of the one piece of cardstock, and then I have the scrap that I can use for my oval. Okay, then for the inside layer, I have my 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to be my standard inside layer. I wanted this to coordinate with the middle, so I just have a scrap that's, I guess it's 1/2 inch, maybe a little bigger, by 4 inches. So that will be the inside. Then on this one, I have a layer of the Designer Series paper. Now this is the Christmas paper, the Joy of Christmas. So it's got some music notes on this side, but I'm just going to use the check because for some reason the check and this little beaver went together in my head. So Yes, Sophie did want a treat. She'll have to wait. Then I have the front of my card, and I went down 1/4 inch for this. So I believe this was 3 by 4 1/4, right? Yeah, 3 by 4 1/4. So those are my pieces, and it's going to go together really easy. I mean, is anybody confused so far? Are you following me here? Does it all kind of make sense? Now, because I'm doing this from the side, this is a landscape version. Now, if I wanted to go this way and have the 3 tiers come in from the side, I'd do kind of the same thing. I'd be cutting at the 5 1/2 and then score at 4 1/4, come over 3/4 of an inch, score, go over 3/4 of an inch and cut. And then I would do the same thing. So I'm just extending those on the 2 middle layers by the distance I wanted between the sizes. Is that making sense? It's okay to go back for the rerun. It's also good to go back and buy my tutorial. That's why I make things super easy for you. I break it down step by step. I give you all of the measurements, tell you all the product I used, and I usually even come up with a diagram that is actually to scale. So those are usually included in my tutorials. And you get 6 tutorials for 10 bucks. So it's a really good deal. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to start that tiered side. So I want these to lay fairly flat. So let's come in and burnish those. Okay, so now I want to glue the top, so this piece here, with this here. Okay, so it's going to be my standard layer size glued onto this little flap. And you can do that with liquid glue or you can do it with tape, depends on how confident you are. I wanted this one. Depends on how confident you are with laying it down. You just want to make sure, as I'm putting down my tear and tape, I'm making sure that I'm within that 3/4 of an inch so that I'm not gluing my card shut. That's never advised. Okay. Come on. I see other demos that just like pick this up and flick it real super easy. I have not nailed that yet. Okay. So now I'm just going to watch. I want to make sure I'm watching my bottom and this side. And I'm lining it up. Okay, so I'm flush on the bottom with those 2 pieces. And then I'm flush over here on the side. Then for the front one, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to glue to that little flap, but I don't need the extra pieces because I'm not putting a 4th layer on there. So you can put them, the tape on either side. You just need to remember there's that 1/2 inch up there if you decide to put the tape on that end. Okay, flush with the bottom, flush with the side. Okay, now you can leave it with these squared off edges, but I decided that I wanted it to have a little bit of a slant. So I just came in and cut from that middle score line down to that point. So now it just has this little zigzag kind of look. Both work. But that's what I did with mine. Gave it the little zigzag. Now all we need to do is decorate it up with layers. That's the hard part. So, I mean, how cool, right? I love that you're finding it easy. That's always my intent. I find these cards and I think, ooh, that looks really cool, and then try to find some way to make it easy for you guys to follow. That's my challenge every week to myself, is find something new that I hope you haven't seen yet, and then simplify it. So if you see something out there on Pinterest, I'm always encouraging you, please send me ideas. I feel like I look at Pinterest a whole lot, and so I don't want to always come up with the same ideas all the time. I want you guys to help me out and show me what you would like to see. Wendy does that every once in a while. She says, oh, I saw this tutorial on Pinterest. I don't get it. Can you figure it out for me? And we do. Okay, so the middle layer, I'm not going to do any stamping. So I'm just going to leave that as is. You're more than welcome to add something to it. There's no reason why it can't have any stamping or a little something off in the corner. That's totally doable. The inside, I just wanted to do an inside sentiment to go with my happy birthday. So I looked through my sentiment stamps and I found very best occasion. And I'm going to go with happy birthday and sending you smiles for every moment of your special day. I find the easiest way to pair up these sets is to kind of look at the font, because obviously these are the same font, they go together. These are the same font, they can go together. This could go with it. These two go together. So, yeah, these could go together. It's really easy to just follow the fonts. So I'm going to pull out happy birthday and that other one. And on Monday's card, we stamped them together. This time I'm going to stamp them separate. So they go on separate blocks this time, whereas last time they went all on one. And I noticed that mine is a little wonky. So I kind of look at it because lining it up on my grid paper wasn't working. So I kind of looked down from the top this direction, and I'm eyeballing how that's coming across under the happy. That one seems to be okay. And then I'm going to go shaded spruce. That's the green that I'm using here. I'm going to be really careful. It looks like I caught the edge here because I re-inked. So that's another reason why these are great to have cut into fourths, because I can take the little corners and get it off of that rubber before I stamp. So I don't have a halo. And then I had kept a little scrap, here we go, to do the happy birthday. Oh, see, and it's crooked, but that's going to be okay because this one I'm going to punch out. And so we will straighten it when we put it in here. So if I hadn't, ran it straight, I'm going to be a little crooked, but I can use the back and looking through the hole to figuring out where it's straight, and they're never going to know. That's why I prefer to stamp and then punch, because I can align it better. That's maybe just me. And then that scrap piece, remember I said we had this leftover? I can use that for my scalloped circle. Okay, and then we're ready for our front. Let's get this out of the way before I lose it. For me, the less little pieces I have floating around on my desk, the less likely they're going to get lost. Some of you saw on my Facebook page, when I was designing this card, trying to get the measurements right and to simplify it, because I was going off the measurements from my other card and then just trying to extend it. And it was starting to get difficult. And I thought, this is silly. You use standard layers, then bump off the side like I described in the beginning, but that didn't hit me right away. And so I went through a whole lot of cardstock that ended up going in the trash. And normally I don't do that. It was kind of funny. And by doing that, I made such a mess to my desk. Because I'm on camera twice a week and I hold classes in person twice a week, my office usually stays pretty clean. I mean, it does get, sometimes I'll move stuff, you know, when I'm having class, I'll move it from the big table over to here. Or if I'm filming, I move it from here to the big table. But because I have class tonight, both sides are clean at the same time. It's amazing. Now, if I can keep it that way. Because I attended On Stage this weekend and was able to order. And so I have brand new sets out of our January catalog. So I have a feeling I'm going to be playing with those this weekend and digging into the fun new stuff coming for January. I know. We haven't even had Christmas yet, but new product is new product. I still want to play with it. And then Celebration will happen in January as well. So good time to buy and a good time to sign up. There's always a special going on. Oh, and speaking of buying, right now is our seasonal sale. Normally, most stores have that Black Friday. We're not doing Black Friday. We're doing our seasonal sale. And it was yesterday, the day before, and today. So today's the last day that you can go in and you can get ribbon at 10%, ink at 15%, and paper at 20% off. So it's great deal to stock up on, you know, your Whisper White, your envelopes, you know, all of those things. If you're collecting the Stampin' blends, getting those at 15% off is a great deal. Go check it out. Lots of fun stuff to be had over there. And if you're a demo, whether you're a hobby demo or a business demo, those deals stack. Not every company does that, but when we have stuff on sale as a demo, we're able to buy it at the sale price, get the discount off of it, and then earn rewards like hostess rewards on top of that if we get up to the 150. And we're earning Celebration stuff right now. So like 4 discounts in one order. It was amazing. So if you want to know how to do that, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you. Met all my best friends through Stampin' Up. Huh, Wendy? Okay, so I just used my blending brush to put a little bit of shaded spruce along the bottom so he'll look like he's standing in some grass. I'm going to bring in some balmy blue and add a little sky. So I'm swirling it on there, and then I'm swirling it off on the paper first because I want to make sure I'm not getting any harsh lines. You also don't want to try to rush this. I find every time I'm on camera going, hurry up, I make a mistake. And you can always sit there and add more, but you can't take some off. So if you're at home doing this, please take your time, let it build, and you will be much happier with your result. Don't rush it. Don't push too hard. I mean, all of those things will make you unhappy with your result. And I want you to be happy with your card making. That's the whole goal of this thing. We're to have fun, have it turn out well, and impress people, right? Okay, so like I said, I wanted to use our little badger out of here, or beaver, whatever he is. So So I'm going to bring him out, and then the little pile of wood. At first, when I saw this, I thought it was a nest. Doesn't that look like a nest? So if I had some birds or something, that could easily be a nest. But the other way, it looks like a pile of sticks, which is what the beaver would have, right? He'd have a pile of sticks. So I've got that and this little guy. Now I'm going to stamp the sticks in pecan pie off to the left. And then I'm going to stamp him in early espresso. Now his tail is going to flop over and it's going to overlap onto the sticks. And like this, it kind of looks messy, right? So one choice is that we could have masked. We could have stamped this onto our masking paper, cut it out with the dies even, because there's a die that will cut him out, laid the masking paper over the top, and then stamped the sticks after that. But I decided, because his tail is darker anyway, I'm going to use my really dark Stampin' blend. This is the deep dark. So this is in those color tones, like skin tones. They're great for lots of things like this. And they're not in the standard place of blends. You can find all of our blends in with our colors. But these were in a different spot. Here we go. So it's all of these. I only showed 2 of them here, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets. So there's 10 more blends over here on page 136 that give you all of these wonderful browns and ivories and stuff that can be good for animals and for coloring people. And I'm going to take that dark one, and that's what I'm going to color this tail with. And because it's so dark, you're not going to be able to see that those sticks are in the background unless you got up really up close and personal with it. See, I've only done 1 layer on that, and you already can't see the sticks. So I'm going to do his little feet and his hands with this dark one as well. He's kind of little. I'd probably be better off with my bifocals on, but you know. All right. Then I wanted to color him. His body I'm going to do in pecan pie. So I've got that set of blends, but I wanted to have some shadow areas a little darker than just my dark. So I've brought in my light gray granite, and I'm going to add a little more darkness in here. I'm trying to be careful not to get his little heart thing there. So if you ever want to have a little more shading than just our normal blends would give you from the 2 colors, you can always add a little bit of gray underneath, or you can start color swatching and move your colors together. And what I mean by color swatching is that you can take your blends and just do little markings and figure out where they're going to pair up and what colors you can use with what. So you can see that maybe that could go up here. See, and they could, you know, if you overlapped them a little, they could blend into each other. So just play around with that and see if you can get, you know, some more colors going. But I'm just going to stick with the 2 that come in this set. And then I'm going to do the gray underneath. Now, I tend to use little flicking motions when I use these sometimes because it'll start out darker on the edge and kind of fade to lighter as it goes in just from my flicking. Did anybody go join Alyssa's Blends and Beyond group after our discussion on Monday? Alyssa Tilsner out of Australia has a Facebook group called Blends and Beyond, where she's teaching us how to work with colors using the blends, and then she's putting some colored pencil over the top and coming up with just amazing stuff. Oh, look at you guys coming up with some great ideas for my little pile of sticks. Okay, so now that I've done the dark, I'm going to go over the dark and blend it in. Now I may need to go over the section where they meet, and oftentimes I'll do that with little small circles. When it's getting in really tiny like this, often I'll bump around and use the tinier nib instead of this big wide one. I'm choosing not to color in the sticks at this time because I want them to stand out. So I might need to look for a different color brown, either darker or lighter, something that will make those little sticks in his hand pop out a little better. And then I'm going to bring in a little bit of the light bubble bath just to give him some cheeks. Okay, and then I'm just going around him just so I didn't color all the way in the middle. I left some white space and then just went over it. And then, like I said, I'm not coloring the sticks. You could choose to if you wanted, especially because we're on camera and, you know, your time is precious. I'm not going to do that right now. There he goes. And then all we need is our sentiment. And there we go. So there is today's card. This is the kind of card that would be great for an office. Like if you needed to have lots of people sign the card, you could put some extra white paper on here and it would give you so much more room for lots of people to sign that card. So just an idea. There's our 2 little cards. Again, we're using the Fluffiest Friends bundle. Next week, I'm going to be using the Simply Sparkling. So this is something that was new in the online exclusives. It's also what Alyssa and I will be making our customer appreciation PDF out of. So I've got lots of cards I need to make because I need to make cards for class, for you guys on the live, and then for the tutorial for purchasing with me, because everyone who purchases with me gets the tutorials for free. So thank you to everyone for being here. Make sure that you put in hashtag prize patrol. That's how you get into the drawing. I've got the computer in the background collecting everybody's name. And by putting in hashtag prize patrol, all run together as one word, no spaces, that gets you into the drawing to win today's card. Like Janice asked me about the Blends and Beyond group. So here is that link. For this card, I probably would send to New Zealand because it goes on one postage stamp. If it needs more than that, then they go bananas, but a one postage stamp I can do. Some of them require extra postage because they get thicker because the fun folds are just, there's more to them. So let's see. Let's remove the desk and then we'll be able to share our window for Prize Patrol. Has everybody got that input? Well, some of you guys got on there and did it early. Okay, so let's get ready to spin. There we go. Karen is today's winner. Congratulations, Karen. To claim your prize, what you want to do is head over to my website, queenbeecreations.net, and then up there in the address bar after the .net, you're going to put /prize patrol, and that's going to take you to a Google form where you give me your address so I know where to mail it off to. So congratulations, Karen. Thank you to the rest of you for joining me and spending the afternoon. And look for our class on Monday using the Simply Sparkling from the online exclusives. And don't forget to shop the sale because some things are running low on inventory. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.